The Cardinals Daily Report is brought to you by the Arizona Lottery. You can't win if you don't play.
When Tony Romo came out of the game against the Redskins this past Monday night, he kept talking about how he couldn't believe how much the Redskins were blitzing. Bottom line, Kyle, he apparently hadn't watched the Cardinals film yet because obviously the Cardinals like to blitz. Now, how much they like to blitz, I guess it's up for debate. Todd Bowles was saying today that the Cardinals actually don't blitz as much as you think, and Calais Campbell actually said that it depends on what you call a blitz, because in his mind, and he thinks in the mind of the entire defense, if they bring 5 guys and not just 4, that's still not a blitz. That's just a regular rush.
Yeah, but I still think they do blitz a lot, even if they say they don't. And I think the big one is when they bring 7, which happens quite a bit, and that's so noticeable when you have all those linebackers and all those guys, and the way they do it, going right up the A-gap, they're heading straight for the quarterback. So it's pretty easy to see when they're bringing pressure, and you know that the cornerbacks are on an island, and the way they do it, I think, is easy to see, and it's something that has worked at times, it hasn't worked at times, but they haven't been burned too badly, which is a testament to the secondary, which you look at the numbers and they're giving up a lot of passing yards, but there's so much put on those guys, and the fact that there haven't been a ton of big plays, the Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin ones come to mind, but those are few and far between, and I think they've held up well. When you look at the points per game total, they're doing fine.
Well, Bruce Arians was saying earlier this week, just for one example, that Tony Jefferson had a couple of times during the game that he thought he could have come in a blitz and actually gotten a hand on the quarterback and maybe gotten a sack if he had executed it right. And that's part of it right now is Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles talking about the actual execution of some of these plays and being able to get to the quarterback and knock him off his spot at least, if not get a sack. And what'll be interesting going into this game, Kyle, is the fact that, you don't know who's going to be the quarterback for the Cowboys. I mean, Tony Romo on Thursday didn't practice again. We still don't know what his situation is with his back. He could play, but he might not. And it might be Brandon Weeden, and getting pressure on the quarterback for this game seems to be more important, whether it's a hobbling Tony Romo or a relatively inexperienced Brandon Weeden.
Yeah, and if it is Brandon Weeden, which it probably won't be, I think it still seems like Romo's going to play, but I can't imagine how much pressure Todd's going to send if it is a youngster that is still learning the game and he doesn't have a bunch of experience, so Todd's going to dial that up. And Romo, I think he needs to play for them to be able to have that balance. They're such a good running team, and the Cardinals already load the box, but they can really focus on Murray if it's Weeden and really force him to beat them.
Well, I don't think there's any question that no matter what happens and no matter who's playing quarterback, 2 things. One, the Cardinals are going to load the box because DeMarco Murray is the number 1 guy they have to stop. And number 2, they're going to blitz. In some way, shape, or form, Todd Bowles is going to draw up some schemes to come after the quarterback. So for Kyle Odegard, I'm Darren Urban. This has been another edition of Cards Daily on azcardinals.com.